I believe we've got the same feeling, and as citizens of this country, I think we have got the same feeling about crime. And we keep on asking ourselves, are really the politicians willing to fight this crime and deal with these criminals for good? I mean, in a sense that criminals should know that when they actually commit crime, there are actually repercussions. Very, very serious consequences. I don't know if criminals knows that, but with the rate of crime that we see on a daily basis, recently 2 police officers yesterday in the morning, they were shot by a suspect. I don't know, a suspect whom they were transporting from court. They took this guy, whose surname is Moyo. I don't know I can't remember his name, but his surname is Moyo, and he's originally from Zimbabwe. They actually took him from his cells to court for a 2023. He was actually arrested in 2023. So this guy committed a business robbery. Those are crime with aggravating circumstances where there can be murder, there can be attempted murder, there can be, anything can happen in that kind of a crime. Because remember, when criminals commit such crimes, all that they want to is to get what they want and get away. So anyone who is going to stand in their way, they are definitely going to deal with that person. Let me say this, South Africa. Criminals are not scared to take life. They are not scared. They are literally not scared. And we have, a president who continued to do favors for his friends. We all know that Cachalia is Cyril Ramaphosa's friend. That's why when he actually gave absence of leave to Senzo Mchunu, he called him directly several times. It's just a direct appointment that I want you to be there. A very old friend, by the way. And I have so much respect for Professor Cachalia. But the portfolio that he's running now is not for old madalas. That's not for old madalas. That's not for someone who doesn't have a background in the policing and someone who just doesn't understand the system. And on his first speech, after being sworn in by his friend Cyril Ramaphosa, this is what he said. And South Africa, don't get me wrong. I don't promote shoot to kill, that police should just randomly assassinate people and all of that and, use force. But police are also equally at risk. Believe me, many people now are too scared to be police officers because you'll be subjected to criminals pointing you with a barrel of a gun and about to pull a trigger. What do? If you pull a trigger, you are wrong. No, this is not police force, it's police service and all of that. What should we do? Should we massage criminals? Should we take them to spa and massage them? Or should we retaliate, as a country through police officers doing their job and apprehending and dealing with crime? Who should lose their life? Police officers have got families. They are feeding their families, these people. And innocently, they are service providers, but they are working. Literally, they are getting paid, they are working, and they want to go home safe than to go to work, report for duty, and you don't come back. Now, listen to your professor. What he's saying, it doesn't make sense to me, honestly.
6 months, that's in the president's discretion. The shoot to kill, I am not going to second guess police officers when they are in the field, when they have to deal with violent criminals. It's for them to take whatever steps are necessary to subdue the criminal and to protect themselves, subject to the law. We're not a banana republic. We have a history in this country of the abuse of policing power. We all know about that. And after our constitutional transition, we've had incidents which we as a country should think about. Andres Kitane is no longer with us. Marikana happened on our watch. So the message from the minister cannot be that lawlessness, what is required to fight crime is unbridled, unlawful violence.
Man, I'm so disappointed because as much as we have seen how rife crime is in our country and how violent and heartless and, you know, how heartless criminals are in our country, and we have an acting minister who comes right after being sworn in. I think this thing they discussed with his friend Cyril Ramaphosa, and you can see that this is exactly their intention. That when criminals shoot to kill, nobody says anything. When police shoot to kill to protect themselves, when they are faced with the reality of crime. Now, there's this on this issue of yesterday that happened recently yesterday. Basically, these two police officers were transporting a violent criminal who's a risk of escaping, who was actually arrested for a business robbery. They took him to court. Everything was fine. Sorry. And as they were driving him back to his cell, and that's when everything happened. Other rumors are like, no, this criminal who was being transported, the suspect, from court, actually had people who intercepted the police car and forced the police officers out, broad daylight in the morning, right in the middle of town, in Roodepoort, in Joburg. And then they shot those police officers, left them lying there, disarmed them, took the firearms, and they drove off. This suspect, who was accompanied by the police, drove the state car for about kilometers and abandoned the car there, and obviously he escaped. And he's on the loose now. Now the police are looking for Moyo. So you can see how deep crime is. It's more like it's a gangster state. You can lose your life as a citizen of this country, an ordinary citizen. If things like this happens, then where are we? Where do we stand? Just look at this clip. It's very concerning, for real.
Let me start by saying the information is still sketchy for now. We are still investigating to find out what really transpired. But what we can confirm is that two of our members were shot and killed this morning at about 10:30. They are the detectives. They are attached to a trio task team. One is based in Florida detectives, and the other one in Roodepoort detective. So this morning they went to fetch a suspect of business robbery who was appearing at Roodepoort magistrate court. So after the court appearance, then they were transporting him back to Boksburg prison. So when they were in this road, is then that they were shot and killed. For now, we are not sure if it's the very same suspect that they were transporting who shot at them, or there are other suspects that stopped our police officers. So that one is still under investigation. But what we know is that they also took both firearms of the police officers, and the suspect drove away with the vehicle of the police vehicle. It was an unmarked Toyota Corolla, but the car was later found abandoned few kilometers from here. So the suspect is still at large. So the suspect was arrested in 2023 for a business robbery. So that is the case that he was appearing for here in Roodepoort. He is a Zimbabwean national. His name is Jabulani Moyo. So that is the suspect that we are looking for.
Now, as ordinary citizens, should we really say we are safe? Should we really say, because it's more like the police should be scared of criminals. I mean, as a matter of fact, we rather lose criminals than losing police officers. You know, attacking the police officers is more like attacking the state. These people are fighting the state, you know. And it's so concerning when we have an acting minister who talks like this on a public platform to say, because you are literally giving these criminals an assurity that they will never be shot by police officers. They can do whatever they want. They can shoot at the police, but the police should not shoot back at them. Imagine when you are a police officer and you are watching someone who is a friend of a president being sworn in and talking like that. You know, these ministers, they must take them when they are doing raids or Operation Fiela or whatsoever the raids. I think they must, you know, we need that minister of a Nhlanhla Mkhonazi caliber. You know, General Nhlanhla Mkhonazi will be with his police officers when they are doing stop and search, raids and everything. Where there's crime, where the police were fighting, he's there. So we don't want ministers who are having lofts in their houses and sitting there watching rugby, cricket on a weekend and people are dying there. You must be on the field. So I don't see that old man being on the field. He should be spending time with his grandchildren, to be specific. And respectfully so, you know, policing is not a lecture room. So Cyril Ramaphosa turned policing into a lecture room. That's not where you lecture there. You cannot lecture criminals. You cannot lecture criminals. So I don't understand with Firoz Cachalia. How is he going to deal with this thing? I mean, he's just incapable on the first day. By the way, I never believed in him, and I wanted a Nhlanhla Mkhonazi caliber of a minister of police. Why don't we, or can't we have a minister from the SAPS? Why can't they appoint for that specific portfolio? Why can't they appoint someone who is from SAPS and of a Lieutenant Mkhonazi caliber kind, a fearless someone who, I can promise you, we can squash this crime. But politicians are the beneficiaries of this crime, drug cartels, tenders, whatsoever. And recently the ANC had an NEC and they were talking a lot of nonsense. And you see old faces, the Dr. Digital Vibe face, you see the Paul Mashatile face, where, you know, you can see that these are rotten potatoes, all of them. They are rotten potatoes. Let's continue to watch this clip where 2 police officers have been shot dead in line of duty. I don't know who shot who. The criminals who intercepted, they shot at the police, or the suspect. Where did he get the gun if he really shot at this police? Where exactly? It doesn't make sense to me.
That one police officer was declared dead here and the other one was declared dead in hospital.
Exactly. One of the police officers was transported to hospital, so he was certified dead on arrival, and the other one was certified dead here. One police officer is a warrant officer, the other one is a sergeant.
Have you informed the relatives or next of kin?
Yes, we've got our chaplains who has already informed the families of the police officers. So the head of the Deputy Provincial Commissioner responsible for the detectives, crime detection here in Gauteng is also here. Then he's the one that is leading the investigation, because we are trying to get to the bottom of this incident. Yes, it's true. The families have been informed on it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, it's so sad, man. I wish for the police to work swiftly on this so they catch up on these criminals, because this is totally unacceptable and we cannot accept the defeat from the criminals. We need to fight the criminals, and we should not be too soft. We should not have a soft spot for them, because I've got a feeling that now the criminals are actually testing whether the state has got more force to them or they can actually penetrate. We have seen the Cachalia issue capturing the whole of SAPS, getting tenders from the police, and capturing the Ekurhuleni. There's also a commander here at Ekurhuleni of the EMPD who used to give Cachalia blue lights, and it's so sad. And they sneaked him back, and they actually gave him promotion, by the way. So these are the issues that really, when you're sitting and looking at them, you can see that we are slowly but surely turning into a banana republic. Let me tell you something, by the way, in closing. For as long as we have ANC running this administration, nothing will be better in this country. We are actually heading to become the West of the West on a daily basis. We've got Cyril Ramaphosa who's doing as he pleases. And recently, the legacy foundations have actually pulled out from the national dialogue. You know why Cyril Ramaphosa will not stop this dialogue? Because they want to steal money for the local government elections next year. So this 700 million is actually a bypass for them, a ticket, for them to steal millions so they can reserve money for campaign. That's why Dada Morero, the Johannesburg mayor, also said he's going to spend 700 million fixing the potholes in Johannesburg. So, I think they like this 700 million. I don't know what's the story behind 700 million, or they don't know the figures. They just choose 700 million. 700. Say, no, don't put 1,000. Put million there at the end. So it's 700 million national dialogue, 700 million potholes. I don't know. It's so concerning. And as citizens of this country, we know that there's not much we can do. These people, they will just continue to mess up. But it is so concerning, and it's a red flag already, because the legacy foundations, the FW declared Foundation, Tabombeki Foundation, I don't know which other foundations, but the main foundations, they've actually pulled out. And still Ramaphosa is still continuing to say the venue is booked, the money is there. Money is there because it's not your money, sir. It's our money, and you're using our money as you please. And you still continue to say transformation. You still continue to blame white people for your failure and the whole of the ANC. With your deputy president, Paul Mashatile, dealing with Louis, who is a scammer, who gave you his wife a diamond dealer, by the way. So you can see how deep these politicians are with criminals. They've got a very cozy relationship. And now as citizens, where do we go? How do we actually confront this? It is so concerning. I don't know South Africa. I don't know, but crime is a horrible thing. And the leadership of this country doesn't look like they want to get rid of this thing called crime. I'll see you next time. I sign out. Sharp Squatters.